Welcome to video number 4 of how to get a girlfriend or getting back into dating. You've just left a long relationship. You were with her for how many years? I don't know. But now you feel ready to get back out there and start seeing new women. One of the things that may come to you is, what do I do? How do I prepare for this? Am I going to be able to? Confusion sets in, nervousness, or even fear. So today I've decided to talk about not having one woman around all the time for you. And I'm going to get into preparing for that, because something that a man get used to, or anyone, maybe it's a woman as well, you get used to having one woman there for you. You're used to coming home and her being there. Whenever you text her, you can come see her or she can come see you. Having her warmth, her body, her sexual energy. You are used to that. So not having that one woman around like you're always looking forward to is something you need to learn about. So I'll be shedding light on that. The second thing that I'll be shedding light on is the withdrawals that you feel. Yes, you will feel withdrawals. You will want to go back to her. You will feel like, you know what? Why do I have to deal with all the things I'm dealing with right now? How come I just can't find somebody who's like her? And then you start to think about her. You start to remember. You want to think about what went wrong with us. All these things start to come to you because you're having withdrawals of that woman, what she gave you. We're going to talk about what to do at those times when you feel those withdrawals, because this is very real for any man who's been with a woman for a very long time. You will feel it. And the third thing that we're going to get into today is becoming okay with the new dating that's out there. And I say new dating because since technology has moved into the sphere of how people meet each other very strongly, you need to understand that there will be a lot of frustrations around this. Women are not as present as they used to be because of the distraction of technology. You're used to being there with your woman and both of you having times where you're not on your phones a lot and you're spending some time together. But in the day and age of today, you need to get used to that. Many of the girls, they are wanting to be on their phone. They're wanting to see who's writing them. They're looking at who's on the Snapchat, who's on Instagram. They're following things. All these distractions may come in. So the struggles of new dating is flakiness a lot. We'll get into flakiness. We'll get into what is it like to not have women receive you like your woman used to receive you. And just persisting through it. Because if you persist, you will find women you like, but that struggle must come first of that. And then with the persistence, you will find women who are for you. This one will be the most difficult of all three. Getting used to not having just one woman there who wants you, who wants to see you, who is ready for you to come home, who is ready for you to see her, go on a date, whatever it may be. This is something you must prepare for. If there's something that feels very comforting for anyone, is when you've had a long day, when you're not feeling so well, when you just want warmth, is having someone there for you. this is very difficult to not have someone there when you're used to having someone there. You may notice that there's times where you start to go into, what's the easiest way for me to just find a woman who can just be there for me? Oh man, I don't want to have to deal with this again. Going out there and trying to find somebody who gets me and I like and I find attractive. I don't want to have to deal with this again. Then you try to find the easiest way for you to get someone. Maybe you try online dating. Maybe you try to meet a girl through one of your friends who maybe you like a little bit. Or even, to prepare you for this, even at the most desperate place, you try to get into another relationship. These are all things that's just manifestations of not wanting to feel like you are alone. Being there with someone didn't allow this fear to be there. Or even sometimes the fear was there, but it was overlooked. It was capped, overshadowed by your need to have this woman. You need to get used to not having somebody there. I bring this up because if I think about the guys that I've coached, and one of the things that they deal with, maybe they've been in a long relationship, maybe 10 years, 7 years, anyone that's 5+, they've been in long relationships. And then they start to feel that, maybe I should have done this, or maybe I should have done that. And I start to give them insight on things, and then they start to go right back to I want that warmth back, because if I would have just did this right, I would have that warmth. If I would have just did this right, then that woman wouldn't have left me, or I wouldn't have left her, or it would have went better. And they start to move backwards. And the next thing we're going to talk about is the withdrawals, which is going to be something linking off of this. But for now, I give them the chance to know that, yes, there's many different things you could have done differently. I remember the girls who I used to speak to, the girls who I used to be with, and me looking back like, if I would have just done this, that would have worked out better. Me feeling like, fuck man, I just want somebody who can appreciate me like she did. Wanting someone to be there all the time, like some of those girls used to be. I could just write them and they would come over. I could just say, hey, I'm gonna come over, and they would just say, okay. We would hang out, we would have a lot of sex, and it was very difficult to lose that at times. But something I tell you is this: you must be willing to be alone if you want yourself to grow past the things that you weren't able to see when you were with the last girl. You must be willing to not have someone and have yourself more, so that you can share more of yourself when you meet someone new. Nobody ever talks about this, but if someone is not willing to be alone, they can't truly be with someone else. You can't truly be connected to somebody if you're not connected to yourself. You're learning in this period of being alone to connect to yourself. That's what you're learning to be with yourself more. And the more you're with yourself, the more of yourself you can share with a woman. You couldn't share the amount you're gonna share with the last girl, with the new girl, because with the new girl, you will be different. You will be more open. You'll be more evolved as a man. With the last girl, you only shared what you knew. You only shared what you thought was the thing was you. But as you grow and you let go and you find out what else you are, you can give more to the new women that you meet. That's the beauty of being alone. That's the beauty of not always having somebody there, because now you have the chance to go inside and go, what was the reason that all these things happened? Was it me? Was it her? It was a mix of both of us. Okay, I noticed that every single time that she was like this, I acted like this. And I didn't want to do that, but I did. Now you're starting to see differently. So when you go into the next one, when you go into meeting new women, it will be different for you. But if you fall back into it, if you get right back into a relationship, you will go back in with the same patterns you had with the old woman. This is beautiful enough for you to go forward. Not having one woman there will hurt. It will. The reason why it will hurt, because there's a part of you that wants to need someone. There's a part of you that wants to latch on to someone, that wants what they gave you, that specific girl. And you're letting go of that for something else. Number two is handling the withdrawals of the last woman that you had. Her specifically. And you know what this means? This means handling the times when you think about her a lot. You will think about her so much. You will. That specific girl, the way that she looked, the way her body is. Your mind will always go into what went wrong. Your mind will always try to think about how great she was, how much you want her back. Why did she do this? Why did you do this? Bringing up pain and bringing up the moments of intense pleasure. Bringing up moments where it was just like, oh my God, and bringing up moments like, fuck, why do we be together? But the ultimate of all of that is that it will want to tell you that she's the one. That you need to go back to her. That you need to try to make things work. That she is the woman for you. And why does this withdrawal come up? It comes up mainly in the times when you're struggling with dating. This is when it mainly comes up. And we're going to talk about that next. But when you're struggling with dating, this comes up very strongly. Or when you're in scarcity. I remember a guy who came to my seminar. And he was telling me about, he always is thinking about her. He is wondering, should he get back? And he had so many dilemmas in his mind about her. And then I went, how many people are in your town? He said it was a very small amount. And he wasn't talking to many girls. And I went, that's one of the reasons why. You're not speaking to enough women. So you have a lot of time to think about her. You are basically in scarcity. So when you're in scarcity, your mind is racing with, I want women. And then as it's feeling, I want women, it will go back to that woman. Because she was the last one that gave you good feelings. It will go back to her. And then you'll start thinking about, like, what is she doing now? Is she dating someone? Maybe jealousy comes over you. You start to think about the sex that you guys have. Maybe it was really great to you and you want that back. You want that type of sex back. And then you start thinking that no other woman can give that to you but her. Your mind will play so many tricks on you simply because you want women so badly. You want what your woman gave you so badly that your mind will start to go, this is what she gave you. No other woman can give you that. And you start feeling withdrawal. You're like, fuck, I want this woman back. But I tell you, for that specific type of withdrawal, it is just getting used to speaking to many women. Getting used to the fact that, of course, no other woman is going to give what she gave you specifically. She is a very unique specimen, like a very unique woman like every other woman on earth. Of course she won't give you that. But she's not the only woman that can give you something that's rich and beautiful and feminine and nourishing for you. She's not the only woman that can give you that. That can only be found out through you going out there and being available to many women. Because sometimes you may notice that you're not even available because you're still thinking that nobody can do what she did for you. Nobody will be like her. So in many ways, you close yourself off and you stop being available. But remain available to what else is out there that you may like. What else? What other things can women give you? What flavor did she give you that another woman has, but just a different taste? It may be the same element underneath of radiance or sexual energy that's really, really blasting, or maybe she was very just open and had a joyful life. Other women can give you those things, but the flavor of it will be very different than her flavor. Nobody will never have the flavor that that woman had. No one. But the elements that she gave you, many women can give you that, but just it will taste different. It will feel different. And that's what you need to be available to. Something else very important to bring to your attention about withdrawals is I want to compare her to every new girl you're meeting. You may meet a new girl and then you go, she's not like her though. You know, she's like this, you know, my ex was not like that. My ex was open and she's being closed. And then you start to shut down. Then you go out there and you meet another woman. And this is, I'm so ready to tell you about the struggles you have to deal with, but I'm just gonna hold off. But let's say you meet someone else. Forgive me for that. You meet someone else. When you meet someone else, maybe she's great and everything, but then you notice that she's not as good in bed as the last woman you're with. And then you start to feel, fuck man, but my ex was so much better than her. Just always comparing to the ex simply because you feel like your ex was so special and nobody else can be like her. Nobody else. And that's why I tell you about this. If you want every new woman to be special and beautiful in her own way, then you need to understand that certain girls move at different paces. When you met your last girl, maybe she moved at a certain pace. Maybe her pace was really fast. Maybe she moved at a pace that felt right for you, that was like in alignment with the pace you moved at. And you meet a new girl who wants to try something different, and maybe it's faster than what you're used to. You meet another girl who is moving so slow, and you're like, oh, my ex never moved like this. She was just so open, and she had a joy about life. Maybe this girl right here, she doesn't even want to go do this adventurous thing right now. It's not that she's not adventurous. It's that in that moment when you wanted to do that, maybe she wasn't feeling adventurous in that moment. And don't get me wrong, some girls are just so uptight that everything has to be planned out, and they need to learn adventure. But the comparing to your last girl will rob you of the experience of seeing what's special in each woman. It will rob you of that experience. And that's why I tell you, don't get used to comparing, because if you compare, you lose track of what's special in each woman. We move into the third thing now. And that is getting used to the new dating that's out there. Preparing for the new dating. One of the things that I would definitely want you to prepare for is flakiness. You are used to, hey baby, let's go here. And her saying, okay. Hey, let's meet up tonight. Okay. Or coming home every single day and her being there. You're not used to flakiness. You're not used to a woman saying something and then saying something else. Or it happened in different ways with your woman. But you're not used to, let's go on a date. The woman saying yes, and then at the last moment her saying, I can't make it, and then you never seeing her again. Or you're not used to getting the number, texting her, and then not having her text back. You are used to texting and having a text being right back to you. Very quickly too. Because you had one woman who was just for you. And she started to basically show you that I'm always here for you. And the thing that you have to prepare for now is that when you are meeting new women, they will not always be there for you. They will not always text you back right away. Sometimes they'll text you a whole day later. Sometimes they'll text you right away. Sometimes they'll text you never. And this is something you must prepare for. Women who are flaky. That is many of the women you will meet. Many of them will be flaky. Of course, depending on the age and depending on where you met them, many of them will be flaky. So get used to that. Prepare for women who are flaky. And they're not doing it because they don't like you. It's just when you're meeting somebody in this unconventional way, in this way that's out of the ordinary, walking up to them on the street or walking up to them in a club, which is kind of ordinary, but it's still unordinary when you come up, or meeting them in some place that's random. Understand that they will feel all their fears or their beliefs about what should happen about it. And the only thing you can do in all of that is just persist. Just keep going out there and meeting women until you find women who can say yes to you for going on a date. That's what you want to do. Just understand that if I persist, I will find women who won't flake on me. But up until that point, I will find a lot of flaky women. I will find a lot of women who are flaking on me. I will find women who I go on a date with, and then after the date, they don't want to see me again. You need to get into the game like this and see that flakiness is a part of it. I tell you that I want you to share this with anybody who you feel it's going to help. They need to hear this. If they're a friend of yours and they're getting out of a relationship too, or they want to get out of a relationship, but they just keep holding on because they don't know if they'll find somebody, give this to them. They need to hear this. Share, share, share. And what I want you to do is subscribe. Because not only will you have the chance at having a new life for women, you can follow my videos where I'm talking about all the aspects of going to meet women day, night. You need to just follow those as well. And I give you this. As you walk through life, continue on with being alone so that you can be connected to women more.